side by side at the microphone from the green light to the speed trap. Regarino and Jody calls them as they seize them, and you better believe them. Here, relevant news, biased opinion, and outright nonsense regarding every aspect of automotive culture. Gasp! With mechanical trickery never before broadcast over FCC-regulated airwaves. Thrilled to the explosive tension as Ray and Joe cuss each other down track, barrel roll across the finish line, laughing at certain disaster as they shake hands with the devil. All that and so much more at high noon this Sunday on the Motormouth Radio Hour. Call in and speak live with the Wizards of Speed and the Live Eat, Ray Carino and Joe D. Bring the whole family. Kids under 12 get in free every Sunday at noon on WHBC. Take the Hempstead Turnpike to the Meadowbrook Parkway and look for the no parking on the expressway and no express service on the Parkway side. Go right on Highway 24 to Garden City. $2 all-day parking includes pit pass. Ski there!
All right, we're kicking dust on Motormouth Radio today, going down to Florida Gator Country. Molly Hatchet, Joe.
I was going to say I recognize the scream, but...
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The cowboy boots are working, the hats are flying, we got straw going and everything.
Yeah, but who's going to clean up that pile over there?
Yeah, well,
all right,
this is the deal.
I'll get the shovel left in the next break.
Right. Running from the news, Bounty Hunter. Listen, we're going to have a guest today, Doc from Sarasota, Florida. That's why we're doing a little bit of the country thing. We're giving him a little homage down to Gator Country.
Yes. Yeah, let's salute down south because that's where a lot of good cars get built.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And
we're going to talk about welding, I believe.
Yeah,
right?
Doc.
That's what you mentioned to me.
Doc has a trick bag of a lot of things up his sleeve, and I don't know where he's going to go, so we'll follow him. We'll follow his lead. Of course, Doc is a regular on the Thursday night Playing in Traffic show with Louis Lee and Lou Santiago and myself. He's kind of the resident welding expert and car building expert, and he's an expert on a lot of things. He knows a lot of cool stuff. So we decided.
Sounds like you can impart some knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. And since we do heavily cross-promote between the two shows, that's what we're doing. We're bringing Doc up north this week, and and we'll play with some of the southern stuff. So
I'm curious to hear what he has to say. Even though I'm not I'm not the welding guy. I'm the guy that after all that welding fabrication gets done, I come in with the wiring. But pretty much, that stuff is real interesting, and I got a lot of respect for those guys because they don't let me near fire.
You fix a lot of stuff that the guys with the welders burn to smithereens. I'm like this close to buying a combination welder from him. He's got some stuff on clearance and closeout, so I'm looking at doing that. We'll talk about that later. But I did kind of spend it was kind of an interesting couple days. I spent the weekend pretty much on the Tantalus penal colony. I was.
You used the mine sifter?
With Dr. Noel. You know what? Let's take an early call.
Oh, great. Now that's it. That's it. My mind, my concentration is shot. You mentioned Dr. Helen Noel. Yeah.
Yes.
Somebody was watching me TV last night.
Yes, that's right. So let's go to the phones and say, hi, you're on with the Motor Mouths.
Ray, Motormouth Radio, live from New York.
Doc, what's going on? Doc from Sarasota. How's everything?
Doc. How you doing, gentlemen? Hang on. Dave's going to pick up here in just a second. We'll get him on.
All right.
Cool.
Go ahead, Dave.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hi, Dave. How are you? And
hey,
of course,
Dave.
I'm very good.
You guys are on myself, Ray Guarino, and my co-host, Joe D.
Hey there.
And we just gave you the big intro, so let's talk about Doc. We didn't format
perfect timing
kind of how our conversation was going to go. So if you got something you want to spit out, kick it out. Let's go.
Well, let's talk about Syracuse and the great racing in New York.
Okay.
How many tracks were there 30 years ago, and how many tracks are left?
Oh boy, just on Long Island we had about 8 or 9.
Yeah,
I believe.
Yeah.
And
back in the day, sure.
Statewide, I have no idea.
And now how many you got left out there?
Yeah, you could count them on one hand.
Is that not the sad thing in the state of the world of racing?
Absolutely. There's an organization down here. I've talked about it on Playing in Traffic once or twice. It's called Long Island Needs a Drag Strip. And there are guys who are banding together to try and get that project funded and happening. And they're doing some good work. It's slow going because there's politicians involved, but there's hope. There's hope.
Well, I think I've heard rumors for years of hope of a quarter mile or something out there going on, but I've yet to see it go on. But I wish you all the best of luck. We're fighting our own battle down here at DeSoto Speedway. It's about 15 miles outside of town, and as the world grows, they've pushed the high-end community right next door to the racetrack. Now they're all complaining. They're wanting to shut the racing down at 8 o'clock at night, and you can't start them up before 9 in the morning, and all this. And I'm just like, this is not going to work out so well.
Up here, we call that the NIMBY factor.
Not in my backyard.
Right. Anytime they want to do something, or like even out at West Hampton Dragway. There was a drag strip there for years. Someone built housing developments around it, and then those people complained, like, what's that noise? Let's get that shut down. And they did.
Yeah.
Forget the fact that the track was there for many years.
Exactly.
But I guess they look at it like the track is not a year-round revenue maker, up here at least.
Yeah, here it runs. They've got an event pretty much every weekend. And Scott, hang on. They talk to them. Sorry about that, gentlemen. They
Hello.
They talk about what's going on. Dave, take your phone away.
Yeah, either that or let us in on it.
Yeah,
it's my Snap-on guy. Actually, he needed some equipment, and I knew he'd call. I was trying to hope he'd call later, but anyway,
Snap-on guy calls you on Sunday. Cool.
Ours runs 365. We literally have an event almost every weekend. We run a Thursday practice deal. It's an open practice, and then you can come out and test and tune and do what you want to do then, and then behind that is the round-around track, and they run. It's a blacktop 3/8 mile banked oval. They run out there pretty good, and then we're pretty fortunate in Florida that if you want to drive less than a mile, you can do dirt or asphalt. You can do drag or round-around.
Nice, that's good. Yeah, that's
that would be great up here.
Yeah, well, down there you have a lot of, you got a lot more land. Now, how is it building a track down there, Doc? Because, of course, in Florida, you're a lot more swampy and a lot more...
Yeah, there's as far as I know of, there are no new tracks being built. I know we had a real bad storm here about 8-9 years ago on the other coast, and one of the tracks got damaged beyond belief, and they literally just filled it in.
Okay.
They condemned the track. The conditions were just too far beyond, and the owner did not have enough money or enough insurance to cover it. So he basically just closed up and left. It was just easier for him to do that.
Yeah,
sad.
And then, of course, we had a track up there by Lakeland, and it shut down. And it's been that track's had some issues in the past. It's had some heaving of the blacktop. It had a really bad 900-foot hole in it on the right tower side. You get out 900 foot, and it drops 6 to 8 inches depending on the temperature of the day.
Wow!
So it gets you upset at the high end of the track. So. But our track itself is pretty good. They just redid it here about a year and a half ago, I believe it is, and it's really smooth, real nice.
That's
and then,
nice.
Of course, Orlando Speedway is really nice, and, of course, Gainesville is really nice.
Oh, yeah, those are the big tracks. But, Doc, you also delved into something that we don't hear about much up here, well, upstate New York you would, which is lawnmower racing.
Yep. Yeah, we've been involved in the mower racing stuff now for just about 15 years. I did some semi-pro racing back in the 90s when I first met my wife, and she was, kind enough to let me run out a ton of money and do what I needed to do and get it out of my system, and we had fair success with it. And we took a couple of years off, and of course we still had the race shop. We were still building chassis and things of that nature. And she's seen something on TV coming to town, and it was Lawnmower Racing. And, of course, you get a bunch of guys that build hot rods and race cars and rat rods, and we're all like, yeah, that sounds funny. Let's go ahead and build something. So we break out every broken, wheelie bar, parachute, broken wing off the front of a dragster, something like that, and built this crazy-looking mower. Well, she actually went out and won and got the bug.
No kidding.
And I said, all right, well, let's get a rule book, and we'll see what it's all about. So we went out to our first race, and that was 15 years ago. And since then, I raced with her for a bunch of years, and then I also do announcing for different organizations. But she took nationals twice in a male-dominated class. There's only 3 women in the class throughout the United States. And these machines run about 70, 72 mile an hour on a front stretch of a 900-foot track. So they kind of get you an idea how fast they accelerate. They're
that's a lot of grass.
They're pretty ridiculous in her class. Now, we've got slower classes. There's 13 classes total, starting from like a box stock class all the way up to her class, which is the fastest single-cylinder class, making about 65, 68 horsepower. And then the big twins make over 100 horsepower.
That's something. Now, that is if I'm correct, that's the USLMRA Association, which people can find out about that on nasgrass.com.
That's correct. Yeah, we for about 7 years we ran 40 weekends a year all over the country, and it's not just a local deal. It's people checking their prospective area. I know New York's got a pretty strong. They've got 3 or 4 clubs up there that are pretty strong. They've got some up there in New Hampshire that are real good. West Virginia, Ohio's got a great club. Michigan is a big dominating state. Florida, of course, has got one of the most powerful states. We are currently, I believe, as of last printing of the points, we've got about 85% of the top 5 in all classes are Florida racers.
Wow. I mean, I have no doubt in my mind. I know you're a nut. You'll get on anything. You'll race anything. I'll get in just about anything that'll go fast and do it. I know Lou Santiago, same way. What do you think our chances are of getting Lewis Lee up in Ohio on a mower and having him race?
Well, I keep telling him if he wants to come down here for vacation, him and his wife, we've got a house here not too far off the beach. He can come down, hang out for a week, come out to the race. Lou's seen what it's all about. I'd love to get Lewis out there. I mean, believe it or not, they're pretty safe. Obviously you're going to have the broken finger and occasional broken arm or wrist or something like that. And it's just racing, and that unfortunately happens. Mm-hmm. But in the 15 years, I've not seen anything really major. Right. Not to where the person's crippled for life or anything like that. I mean, we run a full safety rig. You got to run a full face helmet, neck collar, protective boots up over the ankles, long sleeve shirt, pants. Most of the guys are wearing, actual racing uniforms. So these things are, like I said, if you go on the website and you check it out, most people laugh and go about, I cut the grass really fast. But when they come out to the first race and you watch a John Deere, that you could buy from, let's say, Home Depot, an L110, come out of the corner and dance the front wheels like a sprint car, most people are just astounded.
Yeah. Is there any other personal protection, like belts or anything to hold the racer?
Absolutely not. Yeah, when you come off a mower, you want to get away from it as much as possible.
All right. It's like motorcycles. Yeah, a lot of times the best thing to do is let the bike go one way and you go the other.
Yeah. I came off pretty hard in North Carolina. I think if you jump on YouTube and you put in the, it's like the 2011 Hog Roast USLMRA, there's a really good video there. They slow it down. A guy clipped me in the rear. Slid me sideways into a hay bale. I came up about 6.5 feet off the ground, 2 rolls, and slammed back down.
Wow.
Got back up, was bruised up, banged up, straightened my steering wheel, went back out racing and got third.
Wow, okay.
No kidding.
That is cool. Yeah, and that's a testament to the safety and the... and the other races, too, because races are, I don't forget who it was who said it, but they asked him if he was scared. It was a NASCAR driver, and this is going back many years. Asked him if he was scared on the track going so fast, and he says, no, I'm afraid, I'm scared leaving the track driving home.
Yeah.
He says, so I don't do that. I have somebody drive me home because I don't want to be on the road with the regular drivers. So.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We've got something that we've been building now for a while. I've kind of hinted around to some different people. Next year, we're in the midst right now of putting together a machine that we call Assault on the Mountain. Uh-huh. 5.5 years ago, myself and a group of people got together and we set the U.S. land speed record with the lawnmower at just shy of 100 mile an hour. It was 99.6, and it was official. It was done at Bonneville Salt Flats by the Bonneville Timing and Scoring Association, mm-hmm. and it went to the records. Now, since then, the English have come along, and they built a machine, but they didn't really utilize the proper rules, and they kind of stepped outside the rules, and they used a motorcycle engine on a mower. But the Guinness people didn't care. All they seen was it was a mower body, and it would physically cut grass. What they did is they strapped the weed eater motor to the side of the mower, and it cut grass. So it doesn't say you have to cut grass for an acre, and you just have to cut grass.
All right, got it, yeah.
So then they take the weed eater motor off, and they went out to one of the big tracks in Europe,